This is Vikings United, your ultimate destination for everything Minnesota Vikings. Bringing together the most passionate fans, insightful analysts, and dynamic creators from across Skol Nation. Get ready for deep dives, spirited debates, and exclusive insights from Coach Cody. We're celebrating our community, honoring our heroes, and fueling your fandom with Pillars of Valor coffee. This is more than a show. It's a movement. This is Vikings United.
Handy.
Purple and gold, that's all we know. Purple and gold, we holla Skol. Purple and gold, this how we roll. Purple and gold, now holla Skol. Purple and gold, this how it goes. Purple and gold, we holla Skol. Purple and gold, that's how you know. Purple and gold, now holla Skol. I'm representing Skol, the gang, you know the name. It's a Minnesota thing. Put that on the purple blood that's running through these golden veins. Hail, sleet, snow, or rain, regardless, we gon' go to games. $1 billion stadium on Sundays, they don't close the bank. Fail rarely, get your tail buried. Give his JJ to JJ on Hail Marys. I'm like Aaron Jones, I see the field clearly. Gain 150 yards off of 12 carries and 2 tugs. I see you crack a can of ice cold whoop ass on the Packers fan. Downtown Minneapolis, where we pack the stands and put our hands above our heads when we clap our hands. That's how we clap our hands, we put our hands above our head when we clap our hands. Now clap your hands and put your hands above your head when you clap your hands. That's how we clap our hands, we put our hands above our head when we clap our hands. I said clap your hands and put your hands above your head when you clap your hands. Purple and gold, that's all we know. Purple and gold, we holla Skol. Purple and gold, this how we roll. Purple and gold, now holla Skol. Purple and gold, this how it goes. Purple and gold, we holla Skol. Purple and gold, that's how you know. Purple and gold, now holla Skol. If you from Minnesota, let me know. If you from Minnesota, here we go. Minnesota notice. I'm known to Skol and then blow the coldest and Skol until I got scoliosis. So when we so ferocious. So just way before 84 was the dopest. We showed you who the purple and the gold is. If you from Minnesota, let me know. Right now. If you from Minnesota, here we go. Minnesota. And gold, that's all we know. Purple and gold, we holla Skol. Purple and gold, this how we roll. Purple and gold, now holla Skol. Purple and gold, this how it goes. Purple and gold, we holla Skol.
Welcome into another exciting episode of the Scene Project Sports Network. That's our boys with Purple and Gold. My name is Bubba Starts. I'm the host of the show. I'm joined as always by my co-host, Coach Cody. What's happening, Coach?
How we doing?
Man, we're good. What an exciting weekend of football. We're going to get into all that. We'll bring in Big B, our other co-host.
What's up?
What's happening, B? I hope you're keeping a pulse on the news wire, man. Like, coach is getting let go left and right. Coach is getting hired already. We got a lot of news to share.
Well, I'm still waiting for the breaking news that Cody's been hired somewhere. I mean,
yeah,
opening.
That's why we got to have you. We're going to welcome in our special guest for at least a portion of the show tonight, my guy Lance Christensen Jr. from the Driven brand. What's happening, Lance?
I'm having a hard time hearing anything right now. What's going on here?
Yeah, I don't know. You're probably on your phone. It's not the easiest, huh?
Okay, we're good now.
Good. All right, there we go. It's because purple and gold blew your speakers out.
Right.
Well, Lance, you're new to the show, but you're not new to content. You have the Driven brand. You're a golfer, collegiate golfer. I know that you got eyes on the prize going pro, whether it's this summer or in the future when your eligibility is up in the NCAA. But tell the guys here and all of our viewers at home a little bit about yourself and your journey, man. Were you able to hear me, Lance? Check 1, 2. Can you guys hear me okay, Cody?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I can hear you just fine.
Okay.
I'm on my phone right now as well, and you got to do both volume settings. But
Well, when we get him back, I'll have you give him a tutorial.
right.
While we figure out Lance and his situation, Coach, what a wild weekend of football. Obviously, we had playoffs in the NFL, but we also had a national championship game last night. A historic run for the Hoosiers. Pretty wild to watch that season transpire. I'll try to bring Lance back in and see if he can see it. Can you hear us okay now, Lance?
There we go. Yeah,
All right.
I had to make it dramatic. What's up, y'all?
That's all good. That's all good, man. Well, here, yeah, let's double back then. Let's get a little word out of Lance, and then we'll come back and we'll get a lot of football takes. Lance, a little inside baseball. Lance is a big Pats fan, so he's a pretty happy camper right now. But Lance, I wanted you to just kind of give us a little bit of your backstory. You got the Driven brand. You're a collegiate golfer, but I know you got eyes on the prize of going pro here, whether it's this summer or it's in the future. So tell us a little bit of your backstory, man, and then we'll get into the football talk.
Yeah, what's up, everyone? My name is Lance Christensen Jr. I'm from the Kyle, South Dakota, in the dead center of the Pine Ridge Reservation. My story is I grew up playing golf pretty much my entire life, but from the small little town at Little One High School, I was the first Native American from the reservation to win the 2019 State A Golf Championship. And the story belongs is that I didn't have a golf course within 45 miles of me, and every single day I would travel that distance and I would do the things. And I worked extremely hard, put in a lot of hours, and then I signed to play Division I golf. Was an All-American in high school, played at the national tournaments and on the Golf Channel, things of that manner, and then played 4 years Division I golf. And then now I started my brand just this summer called Driven, working on that now, doing things like this, like podcasts and stuff, trying to get it out there. And I'm playing my final year of eligibility at Colorado Christian University. They were the back-to-back Division II champions and runner-up last year. They lost in the playoff. So that's been a crazy journey. And I'm actually recovering from an injury right now. So there's a lot to be seen on Driven about the whole process and the whole journey. But I'm glad to be here. Let's talk football.
Yes, sir. Well, and you're going to be a big part of our golf content over the course of 2026. And I got some big visions for following the rest of your journey and collaborating with you and Driven and the Scene Project Sports Network. And I see a bright future for us all growing together, man. So really excited to have you on the show tonight. Your Patriots got a big win in what I'm dubbing the AFC Championship game this weekend, with Bo Nix being out for the Denver Broncos, who beat the Bills on Saturday. That leaves a lot of things up in the air for them, obviously. How you feeling about the Pats, man?
Yeah, Patriots, man. It's I definitely was saying like, hey, we could get a wild card spot this year, and then anything could happen. Like I said that at the beginning of the year, I thought we were gonna get 10 wins, but the fact that we went 14-3 and just, I mean, we played like a great season. Drake May broke so many records for 23 years old, the same age as me. This is crazy. I did not see this coming at all, but I mean, I'm only grateful we're back where we belong, baby.
B, what'd you think about that game? I know that was I think you were picking the Texans in that one, weren't you?
Oh, okay. I don't know about that. Everyone else was though.
No, I didn't really matter. I mean, I just didn't want the Bills in, just the fact that I'm kind of wanting to see the 0-4 versus 0-4 someday. But no, props to the Patriots. I mean, all the games this weekend were, good. Down except for the Seattle game, I think was a really bummer. But
That one was over with the opening kickoff. They
yeah,
could have stopped right there, 1-7-6.
yeah. But no, it was a good game. Good for the Pats. I mean, it just we were talking on my podcast, Primetime Blitz last week. This 2024 quarterback class might go down as one of the greatest since 83 or 84 when they had Elway and Marino and all them. I mean, just look at what they've done, just in the 2 years plus, since they got drafted. I mean, we almost had 4, second-year quarterbacks, going for the Super Bowl. So, it's going to be good, good for them. It's going to be a tough game to pick because, Denver without Knicks there is going to look a little bit different. So it'll be interesting to see, what that plays out to be like.
Cody, what did you see from the Pats defense against CJ Stroud? What was it? End up 4 or 5 turnovers that they ended up forcing. I mean, it just didn't look well. Now, obviously, weather plays a little bit of a factor out there with the way it was snowing, and just the cold in general is going to have an effect. Now, I know you have some experience with indoor football, but you've been out in the cold too. You were at that Minnesota Gophers game when it snowed like a foot, weren't you? No gloves?
Yep. Yeah, that was no gloves. That was fun. That was a fun time.
You need to get one of these. Shout out to one of our sponsors, the Mosey. Check this out. There's a little like a blanket that you wrap around your legs. You could have wrapped this around you and been okay. I had to wear this indoors. It was so cold in South Dakota this weekend. I had to wear this indoors at the basketball tournament.
Ooh.
I mean, I say me, my wife, she stole it as soon as I came in the building, but
yeah, that Patriots defense, I mean, they made CJ Stroud look unbelievably uncomfortable from the start. And honestly, I'm surprised they didn't try to pull him out for a little bit, just to ask him like, hey man, are you even with us? Because he was struggling all day.
Now, Lance, is that just an effect of that shut down Patriots D? I have a good feeling of what you're going to say, but
Oh yeah, I mean, I think I've been blessed with good defenses my whole life, not let alone the offenses. But like, here's the thing that like me and my friends were saying while we were watching the game is like Christian Gonzalez does not get a lot of TV time. I think there's a few guys on our squad that just like Carlton Davis and Christian Gonzalez who just shut down like sides of the field and make it so much harder for quarterbacks to really go to their number one guys. And then our linebackers are just, they're not the most flashy guys. They're not going to do the biggest hits or make the biggest plays in the world, but they just, they just have to do their job at that point because you got guys like that. So, and then you got guys, like Mill Williams plugging up the middle too and getting sacks and stopping the run. So it's kind of nice to watch. Our defense is a lot closer to Seattle. I know it's a crazy statement, but our defense is a lot closer to Seattle than people think it is for sure.
well, and isn't that just like Boston sports in general, not just the Pats, but the Bruins and the Celtics to a lot of degrees, like all these championship teams that come out of New England, and they all kind of have the same makeup, right? Where it's always a sum of the parts. It's not like one guy. And even Brady was never like the man. I mean, now I know he's the GOAT, right? But he literally had to win 7 championships for everybody to be like undisputed. He's the man, right? Like even after he filled up a whole hand, they're still doubting him. And I think that, a lot of these teams, when you rely too much on the superpower or the star power and people being Superman, i.e. Chicago, right? Chicago without Caleb Williams isn't really doing anything. That throw he had on 4th and 3 to throw it up to Cole Kmet in the end zone. I mean, he sprints backwards 20 yards, fade away jumper into the corner of the end zone. It was just like ridiculous, but you get all of that and then you still don't win the game, right? Like you got to have all the guys that show up and just do their job. And that's what leads to championships. And I think we're really in now. I heard that Charbonnet, speaking of Seattle, tore the ACL. So that's going to change the look of that Seattle offense a little bit. And that's kind of a shame. B, did you see where that happened during the game? I don't, I mean, I was it was over so early that I kind of tuned out. I think I was working on my laptop, kind of get some stuff done.
Yeah, I didn't see nothing, but I'll look and see if they kind of tell us when it happened.
Right, because if it's in the second half of that game that was just over, that's such a huge law. You know what I mean? Like, that's atrocious to have those guys in that position. Now, I know, football games are 60 minutes long and you got to put it down. You can never help when, an injury happens. But, I mean, that one's going to hurt. I know they got a two-headed monster over there in Seattle. But is that now going to put a little more pressure on Sam Darnold to have to do a little bit more? And us Vikings fans know that when you ask Sam to do a little bit too much is when he starts to make mistakes and put the ball into the other team's hands. So be interesting to see how that injury plays for Seattle going against the Rams team that just, one of the best offensives in the league and resilient. I mean, they showed a lot of moxie playing outside in the cold in Chicago on Sunday night, a wild game, overtime to, force the interception, whatever happened on that throw, and really, I listen to a lot of Chicago sports still, and they're all just kind of celebrating that they made it this far. They won a playoff game. They had double-digit wins. So there's not a lot of people like dogging on that one play in particular, right? The turnover in overtime, obviously, that Caleb Williams threw, but yeah, it
looked like it was early. He only had 5 carries, so he must have.
So what happened pretty early in the game? Yeah, that stinks, man. That stinks for a heck of a ball player. I haven't seen a lot of him play, but the couple of games that I saw, I mean, obviously, they ran all over the Vikings mid-season, but I watched that other Niners game and watched Seattle. He's a powerful runner. Ain't scared of contact. Like, you just got to respect guys like that because, I mean, they'd run any of us right off the damn field. No offense, Cody. I know you played some ball out there, but
yeah, no, I mean, I'd try to meet him in the gap, but I might get run over. We'll see. It's 50-50.
That's what I love about you, Coach. You're to go in there and throw your head in and get it done.
No, yeah, I mean, K9, Kenneth Walker, he really showed though. Like, even though Charbonnet is out and everything like that, I've been kind of saying that one of my best friends, maybe he can come on the podcast one of these time. He loves football more than anyone I've ever met. But he was saying, because he's the biggest Seahawks fan, that like Kenneth Walker, once he gets like the touches, he'll show that he's one top 5 running back in the league, and I believe that for sure. Those powerful runners like that. I mean, if the Rams can figure out how to stop him, then I can see that Sam Darnold, we'll see what he's made of. But I don't know. He's a tough one to stop.
Well, and Seattle's just going to keep putting the ball in their belly, right? I think their offensive coordinator knows enough about their team to just run the ball, make them stop you, right? And I think that's something that, especially with this Vikings team this year, that we were really disappointed in because we had one of the best averages per carry in the league, right? You're top 10 in yards per carry, but you're last in rushing attempts per game. And at some point in football, you just have to make the other team stop you. You don't have to get cute. You don't have to overthink things. Just like when something's working, keep doing it until they stop it. And then you make an adjustment, right? But yeah, it's nice to see that the teams that are succeeding, they all kind of stick to that, right? They're not trying to be cute. They're trying to go out and win ball games. And that Broncos-Bills game was just wild back and forth. Obviously, what's the playoffs without a little controversy? What's a catch anymore? Which, it seems like every year we have one of them. That one pretty big. Might have cost Sean McDermott his job. I don't know. They might have been out, kind of putting him out there anyway. I think I was pretty surprised to see that happen. B, what are your thoughts on the Bills letting go of Sean McDermott after the loss? And I mean, just as far as a coach goes, like he's made the playoffs, for the last, 4 or 5 years. I think he said 8 playoff wins.
Yeah. No, I was shocked. A buddy of mine.
Probably not as shocked as he was.
Yeah. Exactly, or his family. I mean, but nah, it was shock. Yeah, I don't know what they could do. I mean, I guarantee he's going to get a job very quickly somewhere else. Um, yeah, I don't know what the Bills are thinking. I mean, I know they had everybody thought it was going to be their year because they didn't have to go through Baltimore. They didn't have to go through KC. They just had to play their game. Maybe it was that no call intercept or the interception that should have been reviewed. But I mean, we don't know. I mean, you got a guy that gets fired for missing, or having the refs give the game away with the catcher interception. You got Harbaugh getting fired because his kicker missed a field goal, but yet you got the Packers who lost because of their kicking game are going to rehire their coach. So I don't know what to think anymore with these coaches.
Yeah, and you bring up the Packers lost their defensive coordinator to Miami, who's going to be the head coach down there now. Just some shakeup in the NFC North, but still not the one that we've been waiting for the other shoe to drop. And not a lot of news coming out of the B-Flow camp yet. Sounds like Mike McCarthy really wants that Steelers job, and he's going all in on that. So with that potentially coming off the board, are the odds increasing, I guess, of B-Flow making his return to Minnesota?
I think so.
I think so too. Just to piggyback on that Bills, the Bills game, man, I was initially kind of shocked at the head coach being fired, but at the same time, like Big B pointed out, you don't have to go through you don't have to go through the Chiefs. There was no Chiefs this year. They had a pretty decent schedule leading to the Super Bowl. All they had to do was win it. I think this was a make or break kind of year for sure.
I think it was Super Bowl or nothing once the playoffs started.
As soon as they saw the seedings, that's when the decision was made. I almost guarantee it.
Most definitely, you can see it. All the teams that you kind of named there was like the Ravens, the Packers, the Steelers, the Bills. They're having a head coaching change here coming up and everything, but they all need to get over that little hump. And maybe for some of them, it could be crash and burn, and have to rebuild from scratch because of the coach. But some of them it could pay off, and I think you're kind of seeing that with the Patriots right now. I'm just saying, kind of seeing it with the Broncos right now too. Kind of seeing it with the Seahawks. So I think that's kind of the trend, just a newer style of football.
Yep.
Yeah, well, and your Patriots kind of went through it, right? Like you had the fall off with when Brady left, and you had the extra year of Belichick. Things didn't go well. You lose Belichick, you kind of shuffle the deck a little bit. Things aren't quite working, but it really seems like Mike Vrabel's built himself. And obviously, I think culture is so important to sports, and we talk about it a lot. We talked about it a lot last week with the news coming out about Jordan Addison being arrested and just kind of having, cancers on your team like that, right? Guys that just can't get right. And when you're trying to build a championship culture, that you usually don't have that. So it sometimes it can take a little while. I mean, the Bears have been rebuilding since -- So, I've lived through that my entire life. They've had one good year. I've said it all year, whether
Big Cutler, baby.
Whether they won or lost in the playoffs. I think beating the Packers for that franchise was a big kind of monkey off the back, especially with, the whole Rodgers, I own you quotes a few years ago. And just there was some things that, as a fan base, it really crushed. It was nice to see some positivity out of my family. I'm from Chicago, Lance. My family's from Chicago. I grew up in South Dakota, but all my family, both sides are from Chicago. And that's like the one thing that unites the city really is Chicago Bears football, because you're split with the baseball teams, right? Not everybody's into hockey, even though the hockey team was really good for a stretch there in the 2010s. But the Bears really unite the city, and it was nice to see it. Happy for the Bears fans to go out and get a win and get over that one hump, but they're in for it next year. You're going to face a first place schedule now. You're really going to have to show up and show out. And, now you got a bunch of guys coming into free agency. They're going to want a little bit more money than they did before, right? We want a playoff game and we're contenders. So I need more. It really is going to come back to that front office being able to build another contender and to see where they're at.
See, that just speaks a lot to the athletes now. Back in the day, watching football, everybody stuck together. Hey, let's run it back. Let's see what we can do. We knocked on the door. Let's knock it down this time. Now, like you said there, Bubba, everybody's, they're looking for the rings and championships, but they're also looking to get paid. And, with the sport that has a salary cap on there, you're going to see a lot of changes. To me, I'm old school. I kind of wish teams would just run it back. Hey, let's do this again. Let's see how many times we can do this. Be like the Bulls back in the 90s. Let's win 6 of 8, and until
you know what? If they don't sign Pippen to that 12-year contract for no money, they never win all those championships.
Whatever.
I love, man, what a great series that was, right? Oh, man. What a great series. Getting to take a peek behind it. The Last Dance, of course. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend you go watch. If you want to know the maniac that you have to be to lead a team and to win the MVP and to be, the GOAT that is Michael Jordan, there is no contest. You can say whatever you want to. I'll never believe you. As far as a competitor goes, that's what it means to me. I don't care about the stats at all. It's that fire inside of you that I'm going to do whatever it takes. You're going to try to give the ball to Karl Malone. It ain't happening, baby. I'm taking his lunch.
Yep.
Coach, talk about that. The player thing. I love what B kind of touched on there. And, NFL stands for not for long. And these guys know coming in that they have a pretty short window to make their money and get out. Now, when you're trying to build that culture, and I know you haven't dealt with, these big personalities, well, maybe some big personalities, but not the big paychecks and having to do that. But you got a little taste of being a GM with the St. Paul Bears this year for your first time. Kind of talk about it from the, I guess, off the field level, right? The GM level of trying to assemble a team, a championship caliber team that you've now done.
Well, I mean, it all starts with, what the environment you want in the locker room, the chemistry you want. In my time with the Bears, I had to make sure with these players, because I had a few players that would come up to me and they'd be like, hey, I need X amount of money per game. I need free housing. I want food. Hook me up with a job. I'm like, hold on. Like, we're not there yet. And I don't think we're going to be there yet because you don't demand money from me. But, I look deep. I research. I'm looking on social medias, what kind of player are they? Are they going to cause issues in the locker room? Have they had any past issues with players that are already on the team? Because that can cause big issues. So, there's a lot.
They've been arrested lately.
Yeah. That definitely plays a part into it. I definitely had to deal with that a couple times, but it's more. You got to break it down more. You got to see, hey, like, how's this guy, off the field? Is he going to mesh with the locker room? Because, it's a brotherhood. And if you bring in the wrong person, like, as a cancer to the team, someone who's always going to get in trouble, always run his mouth, that's going to create, division.
Well, and now it starts in the NCAA, right? They're not just seeking the money once they get to the league. There's NIL money in NCAA athletics, even on the golf teams. Look at Lance here. He's getting some of that money playing Division II NCAA golf. So imagine what these guys that just played in a national championship at that football level, are doing, and the demands that they're going to have moving up into the league in the near future. Lance, Can you kind of talk about the process of the NIL? And I know it's kind of happened since you've been in school, so you remember a time when there wasn't that as well.
Yeah, so my freshman year it started becoming into talks, and then like toward the halfway mark of my sophomore year is when it ended. So I played 4 years of Division 1 golf. I redshirted my freshman year, and I actually was at New Mexico State University where Diego Pavia transferred before he transferred to Vanderbilt with, and I knew him a little bit. And yeah, the NIL money, it's real. Like even the mid-major schools like New Mexico State are getting that money. I mean, you sell out stadiums, businesses, local town, like local businesses and real estate firms, and all they're willing to put money into you. So it's pretty crazy. And I've gotten my own piece of the pie and everything like that. But the landscape of college golf, and now that I'm in Division 2 now because of the injury and everything like that, is like a lot of these Division 2, Division 3, NAIA, JUCO, like all these talented players. A lot of the coaches are having a hard time recruiting to these smaller schools because of the NIL money, because they can't offer that. But the Division 1 schools can. So that's a whole nother landscape to the thing where it's like everyone's trying to get to that level. Not only just to be the best athlete and student athlete they can be and get a degree, but now there's like a whole nother layer to it. It's like, if I can become as good as I can be, then hey, I can make a living out of this and never even touch a professional level. So I think as an athlete who's been at the golf course I've been working since 6 a.m. this morning, and I'm gonna go to the gym right after this. I love it because this is my life. I put in um, more hours in my sport than most people do in their jobs. So for me, I love every aspect of it. But then there also is the side of it that can bring an ego to these athletes too, as well, like you were saying. So demanding or thinking they deserve the money and things like that. So I guess there's two parts of it. But for a guy like me, I guess I love it.
How much because yeah, obviously B and I at least are way too old to have known any of that, and I was never good enough at sports to get some NIL money. Now I don't speak for B on that. He probably could have got something out there. But how does it actually work? I mean, are you out there kind of acting as your own agent, getting sponsorships from outside entities? Are the schools able to provide some money because they're getting a big thing? Like how does that actually work? I don't want you to get into any hot water, so only divulge what you're allowed to. But I think not just us here, but our fans that are listening would love to know a little inside golf.
Oh, most definitely. And the university can help like help set you up with businesses, or like hey, put my name in the pot, kind of stuff like that. It's not necessarily like the head office says, hey, we got $4 million from the university, here you go. It's not like that. It's all from outside sources. It's using your name, image, and likeness to go to other outside vendors or different things like that. So like for me, like I have a Subway NIL deal. And I use the NIL Club app, and then there was an application. I filled it out. They picked 25 athletes in the country, and I was somehow some way was one of them. And then I made a video for them, and then hopefully I'll make some more for them, and I get some cha-ching for it. So it's kind of how it works.
Yeah, pretty incredible. So they have an app that you as an athlete can use and to put in there, and some different opportunities for you. I'm sure that's going to continue to grow. I actually got a app that I've been introduced to that I can't remember the name of right now. I might look it up while we're on the air. Make sure I turn you on to that too, that are out there connecting athletes with brands. So, and they probably do it for a cut. I don't know what it is. I think it's free for the athletes, and it charges for the brands to connect. But yeah, wherever there's a dollar, man, there's going to be a business that pops up to take their portion.
Yeah, there's not a lot running to collegiate golfers, but I mean, I think
we're here to change that, Lance. That's what
we're here to
for.
change that. Exactly.
Yeah, well, I don't know how much longer you're going to be a collegiate golfer anyway, and we can talk more about that later in the show too, because I would really. I'm sure that all of our fans, we've been talking a lot of golf now. The Vikings season's been over for like 3 weeks, so we've been kind of dipping into a lot of other things here. We haven't quite started our draft coverage yet, but that'd be pretty cool stuff. I gotta open it up to you guys. You guys got any questions for Lance about the NIL things in particular while we're on the topic?
Well, not so much NIL. I mean, but I know Cody gets out and golfs. I get out a little bit. Bubby, you get out. What are some tips to help us that, don't have the time to really go out every day to help us, just get those nice shots, so we're not, on a par 5 and it takes us 10 shots to get to the green. I mean, what are some advice you could give us?
Well, I guess it's a broad question because golf is probably the most time-consuming sport there is. Well, I think so, anyways. But um, I would say for me, if I can answer that question to somebody, is just like one, get fitted, get clubs that actually work for you if you are somebody. But if you're not somebody who is that invested in golf, just learn how to hit a shot from 150 yards on in, right? Everyone thinks you got to figure out how to hit the drive, and you do. You got to learn how to get off the tee box, but it's the biggest club head in the bag, Learn how to hit it 100 or 200 yards in the middle of the fairway, and then from there, just learn how to get your ball on or around the green, and your score will drop tremendously. But if you're blading them over the green, put them in bad positions in the bunker, doing things like that, then that's when the scorecard starts to jump and jump and jump, or you're hitting a pitching wedge into the water, stuff like that. So just learn how to hit an 8-iron decently in the air, every time, and you'll get a lot better. I can guarantee.
All
Yeah, learn how to putt too,
yeah. Take yourself to Treasure Cove or whatever it is out by you guys and hit that putt course.
Yeah.
There you go.
No, I like that because I mean, off the tee, I can grip it and rip it, but just getting on the green, that's another like 6-7 strokes for me. So so I agree with that. But my question for you: how many hole-in-ones have you had? Any?
Oh yeah, I'm one of the few guys that has played as much golf in hours as I have, and I don't have a single hole-in-one. But I'd have 3 albatrosses and like, I don't even know how many hole outs, but like I have like 5 or 6 from above 150 yards, but never had a hole in one. So,
Wow.
Man.
yeah, I don't know. The day's coming. When it does come, though, I've always said,
Hey, you've been waiting to do it on camera, Lance. That's all. You've been waiting to do it on camera. Those days are coming. We're all going to get out on the course together and be working on Lance's game. Really looking forward to a lot of content that we're going to get to shoot together. And I know you're shooting stuff on your own all the time and recording that. And for you, do you use video as a training tool? Are you reviewing tape like a pitcher or a football player would? Do you kind of use it in the same instance when able to?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Just today, I was filming I had my tripod set up, and I was filming myself and my swing and stuff. Because your trail hand is here, and then the difference to that right there, literally that and that can mean you winning a tournament and not winning a tournament. Just that little movement. So, golf is the most minute, like boring, monotonous sport in the world. I mean, it literally is millimeters. Like on a track, man, when they measure where you hit it toward the toe or hit it toward the heel, they don't measure in centimeters, they don't measure in inches, they measure it in millimeters. So you're 10 millimeters toward the heel, 10 millimeters toward the toe. So that's literally the definition of golf. So I mean, you gotta know every little thing about your swing and what you're doing. So yeah, all the time.
In layman's terms, I think he just told us that we're not going to be very good golfers unless we can start putting that time in, fellas.
Yeah, I picked up on
we got to
that.
get on the course hundreds of hours a week for the next decade, and we might be like okay golfers.
I have heard, though, a lot of people say that the first step is, if you want to pick it up, is to get clubs that are fitted. I've heard that one from plenty of people. So
it was a game changer for me, because then I could finally like stand over the ball and feel comfortable, because I had clubs that were probably a half inch too short. And you don't think that would be much of a difference, but it was massive. It was a massive difference. And just having stuff that you want to be comfortable when you're playing. And for you're a big dude, right? Like you're not just going to go grab, we used to have a Play It Again Sports in Rapid City, Lance.
Yeah.
I'm sure you remember. And you're not just going to go up and grab a set of used clubs and get out and be Tiger Woods. Like, it ain't, you're going to be Tiger woulda, shoulda, could been.
Yeah, exactly. And then also, like, you know, in golf clubs, there's different like flexes in the shaft too. So like you could go and Play It Again Sports and and then you're like, oh, this looks good. Like it has a nice head on it. It's like, oh, it's tailor made. I only got these for $200. And then the shaft is like swinging a stick, you know, like it's like a pool noodle, you know. So then you'll never hit a good shot just because the head is good. So like knowing not only the length, not only the weight, but like how stiff is the shaft, you know, and like how does it match your swing speed or does it match the way you like to hit the ball too. And once you get to that level, you get some lessons. Find your local swing pro, have him give you some lessons, teach you the basics of the golf swing, or just stick to one YouTube channel. One of those things that we'll go look at 40. And then after that, the only advice I got for you is practice. That's there's no other way around it.
How important would you say is a good coach, right? Somebody that can analyze the swing and to give you a little bit of pointers, even if you're not seeing that person on a, weekly basis, but just having like a little bit of direction. How important is that to, I mean, not just golf. I think that's probably to everything in life, but was that a game changer for you growing up that you had one person, and you can shout them out if you want to, that really took you from, I'm passionate about this game to, I can be really good?
Oh, most definitely. I was blessed to have my dad, who's somebody who just absolutely was obsessed with golf. He taught himself to swing. He got swing lessons from a head pro at Arrowhead Country Club back in the day, and then he got second at state. And it was when he was in high school, and won a bunch of tournaments and stuff like that, smaller stuff, and and was just a really solid golfer. So as soon as I was big enough to walk, I had a club in my hand, and so I was lucky enough to understand the swing and stuff like that. Once I got to college, I was kind of on my own. College coaches don't necessarily help you with your swing as much as you think they would. They help you with the mental game, course management, how to go about this, that, and the other, chipping, putting. But like with the swing, they're kind of standoffish with it because it's like it's its own language, like there's only certain few that can speak that language. So it some college golfers have that type of coach, some don't. But so I had to get my own swing coach and I had to get my own lessons, and I went out to Dallas and I get to go out there to the Chris Como Teaching Academy.
I love this. So he said, Mr. Lance, what's your mindset when you have a big tournament coming up? What do you do to prepare? And I think on the mental side of that, because golf is probably 90% mental, as someone who sucks at the game, I know that once I get I've hit a couple of bad shots in a row on the course, but the preparation going into it, and you've played enough tournaments to have a lot of experience in this field. Is there, are there rituals the night before or the day of? I mean, obviously you kind of have your your practice regimen out there, but is there any superstitious things that go into it as well? Or
No, not really for me. No, there used to be when I was younger for sure. But like I said, like going out to Dallas, going to see my coach, or just like kind of touching base with him, getting a ground level. Like I said, your hands here or your hands here. There's a big difference. So, getting those little things done. And then after that, it's just going through my checklist. How is my wedges? How are my distances? Am I hitting my 60, 101 yards this week? Or am I hitting 99 yards? Like I did that today. Like I decide like I can hit my 60-degree 105 yards, but a smoother 60-degree where I don't have to swing as hard as 99 yards. So just doing things like that, getting my putting nice and locked in, going back to the fundamentals, and then just going out and playing. After I do all those little fundamental things, go and play, and then just believe that you can do it. That's the one thing about golf is like you don't have nobody out there helping you, no team like football. You just got to believe in yourself. After you do that, believe in your hard work.
would you say that most of the college coaches are kind of hands off on the swing because it may do more harm than good to start giving you advice? Because when you've gotten, I would assume most collegiate golfers, by the time they made it there, you've probably been playing for a decade. You've probably had the same swing mechanics for at least 5 years, right? kind of coming through high school and maybe into your college days? Is it more that they're worried about screwing something up and not helping you recover, and it just not being worth the squeeze to make small adjustments at that point?
No, yeah, I mean, kids will have a feel our whole entire life in the way we swung the club our whole entire life, and then if a coach tries to just switch that all around, I mean, it can be detrimental to someone's game, and someone's mental too. It can change a whole player's just whole mindset about the game as well. So, I mean, you can't go to college hitting a draw your whole life, and then the first week he says, "No, you got to hit cuts." You know what I mean? It's kind of like it'd be like teaching Tom Brady, who has the perfect fundamental throw, to start throwing it like Patrick Mahomes. It's just not necessarily, you just can't do that. So I think that's why a lot of coaches are kind of standoffish with it. But then there are some coaches who they take that time to understand what the basis of your swing is. Like, what do you like to feel? What are your fundamentals? What are your bad habits? And then kind of be like, you can understand it from there, and then be like, okay, your bad habit is this, and I see you doing it during a round or during practice. I'm going to tell you, So it's not like they won't help, but it's just like it's a more like kind of reeled back. It takes time to understand this language of the swing.
Cody, he touched on something there about changing mechanics of that. Have you ever, because you coach at a different level, semi-pro, in this professional world, is there times where you've had to change the mechanics and have maybe had a negative effect on a player, and it's had kind of the reverse effect of maybe what you were trying to accomplish?
Couple times. Yeah, it did, do more harm than good, just because, it felt uncomfortable. Everything new, especially when you've been doing a technique for so long, whether it's your back pedal, opening up, and, if they're even, they're leaving and you're just running. But, it just takes that time, the repetitions, like you said, the practice, and the awareness to know what you're doing wrong. Some coaches, I could see it in golf. You got there for a reason, and it was your swing, something about your swing. And, you know, they might not want to, I guess, do something or teach you something that's just gonna throw you off completely. But it's that that uncomfortable feeling, right away. But once you have the repetition and the practice, it just all comes natural.
There's two Lances. Which one's moving?
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Which one is it? Okay, remove this one, add this one. There he is.
Yep. Sorry about that.
You're all good, man. You're all good.
No, yeah. Well, I just heard him say, it's like players who take time to those little details. That's really the difference in players. And I mean, sometimes it can hurt you over analyzing things, and taking the athlete out of the game. Taking the kid out of the playground. But then at the same time, though, it's only maturity, and it's understanding those things, how to get through them, how to go through your checklist quickly in preparation for whatever, and then when it's time to go play, just go play like you're a kid. And then that's kind of the mindset I'm trying to adopt and bring into my professional career.
Speaking of the kids, man, I know you put together a really cool event last summer. I was almost able to attend. I had some prior obligations, though, that had to be handled. It was at the same time as a Sturgis motorcycle rally or close to it. My kids were starting school back on the other side of the state, but I know how important it is to you to give back to your community. Tell us a little bit about last year's event and your plans to keep that kind of stuff going.
Yeah, so I've been doing this since 2018. My dad has been a high school coach and everything. He's been doing camps since the 90s. But I started in 2018, and I did a camp out in my horse pasture. We did an 8-week series. We had a tournament at the end of it, and I didn't really do it for publicity or anything like that. I was just doing it for the Boys and Girls Club. I just thought it was cool. I just love golf. And then the next year we did it again. Then COVID hit, and we took about 2 or 3 years off from doing any type of tournaments or lessons or something like that, or anything like that. And then I think in 2023, when I was in college, we made it to Ogallala Nation, which is like my tribe's fair. During the toward the end of August, the Ogallala Nation Youth Golf Tournament. And then it was big. It wasn't getting necessarily the publicity and everything like that. And then I started my brand, and I was thinking about it, and I was like, the message I would portray to these kids is like, hey, like I came from this golf course. I This was the very first tournament I had ever played in. I got second. I lost in a chipping contest for the playoff or whatever. Um, uh, and like I portrayed to them that message, and then when I started Driven, I was like, okay, what is this going to look like? How can I inspire people? Because that's my goal. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to make this a Driven Youth Golf Championship. So we got it together within a couple weeks, and then we fundraised a bunch of money and got a bunch of cool prizes, and a bunch of kids came out. I had a camera crew come out. People were, it was just awesome, and I can confidently say it was one of the best days of my life, and I'm gonna try my best to make it even bigger next year. So that's one of my goals outside of golf, even though it is still golf, but inspire
Yeah,
others.
well, it's having an impact on your community. And in South Dakota, we don't really have ghettos, we don't have hoods, but we do have the most reservation land in the country, and these are heavily underserved and underprivileged areas in many cases. There's not a lot for, I mean, anyone to do, much less these kids to do, especially on Pine Ridge. So I really appreciate what you did, man. And I know that it means a lot to you. We're going to do everything that we can to give it the publicity that it deserves, and to work together with you to really make it something special. Not just for kids on your res, but bringing native kids from all over the state and bringing them together and to really make it something, because I think it's important for them to see you, to have positive role models, right? When you have the drug use and the alcoholism that are rampant in these places, because there's no hope, right? And that's really what it comes into, is that there's no hope for a lot of these people. You see generations that have just gone down the same path, and there's not enough positivity. And I think that's what's so cool about not just your story and inspiring that, but then coming back. You didn't just get out and get off, that you're coming back and trying to lift up your brothers and sisters and cousins and all of these young kids. I think it's so cool, man. And I can't wait to help you raise even more money this year so we can impact more kids and get some really great prizes out there, and inspire another generation of kids just like you to go out there and to chase their dreams, whether it's in golf or otherwise.
Oh, exactly. I think that my story is kind of improbable, I guess you can say. And I mean, even in college, I haven't quite accomplished the things I thought I was going to accomplish, but unfortunately, I'm a driven person, and I'm not going to stop. So I'm still chasing after it, and I'm just my goal is, I have all these aspirations for myself. I always have. I've always had these goals, but going through this young adult phase of life and things like that, it's just like, if you come from somewhere that isn't as pretty, and as doesn't have as many opportunities or whatever it may look like, that isn't an excuse to live your life with hopelessness, or live your life and not chase after something that really really wakes you up in the morning and gets you out of bed every day. And I don't think that I would want to live that life, so I hope I can inspire others to live that way too.
Incredible stuff. All right. So I'm going to finish with the question that's been on all of our minds since we brought you in here. Are you available to be our golf coach?
I can help you guys out.
Yeah.
I can help you guys out for a pretty price.
There we go. Well, we got to stock up the coffers so that you can get into Q school this summer, man.
Yes, sir. Hopefully in September I can, I guess it will start end of July. Oh yeah, it's pretty crazy stuff. Professional golfer soon.
Yeah, well, and I don't know if you've had any news yet about your eligibility. I know you're trying to get a fight back. We kind of glossed over your injury, but that's a big part of what you had. It was a ligament in your knee, correct?
No, it was actually, so the three tendons that connect your hamstring to your hip, I ruptured all 3 tendons off of the bone, and I had to get a metal rod that tied them back together and healed it. So it was actually, the doctors
That's
told
way
me it
worse.
was
I thought you
it
just
was,
like
was
tore an
way, way
ACL or
worse.
something. That sounds awful.
Yeah, it was one of the worst. It was the worst pain I've ever experienced in my life, and I've broken plenty of bones and
How did
played a
that
bunch of
happen?
sports.
Was it a
I did
golf
this.
related injury?
No, unfortunately, I was working out though, thankfully, but thankfully it was that cool, I guess. But I was trying to, do a growing stretch just like I do every day, and the ground was a little wet, and I didn't think about it, and I just slipped and went into the full splits, and yeah, my hamstring didn't hold up. It didn't
Damn,
hold up.
man. Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
so
and I don't want to ruin it. I know that a lot of your content on the Driven brand and you shot some pretty, kind of documentary style stuff about this, talking about your journey and bringing it back. So if people want to check that out, where can they find more out about you and your story? And obviously, we're going to keep you around for as long as we can tonight and in the future, shooting some more golf content. But plug your socials real quick for everybody.
Yeah, everyone, you can follow me on Instagram, Lance6_605, my personal account, and follow Driven Brand on Instagram. It's my whole story, all my friends, everyone that I collaborate with, just my journey, my tournaments, preparation, all that stuff. So, went out to Hawaii, went out to Cancun this past season, and got to play in some tournaments and stuff there. That was a pretty cool. So go check it out.
Awesome, Lance. Well, thanks for jumping on with us tonight. You don't have to go anywhere, but I really wanted to, give you some time in the spotlight, introduce you to not just the crew, but to our fans. I think you're going to be a big part of what we're doing moving forward. It's PGA week now, so I'm still waiting to hear back from some of our sponsors about some content that we're going to be working on together. But I think it's important just to get together and to have to have some conversations and to get your story out there as much as possible so that we can do even more to support the youth and to support you on this journey. I think it's going to be a hell of a ride over the next few years for you. And man, we're all here for it.
Yes, sir. I would really love to stay and keep talking football and how my Patriots are going to win the Super Bowl and get 7, but I would really love to. But my buddy's waiting outside. We got to go hit our last gym sesh.
There you
tonight,
go.
so
Well, hey,
I'll see you
that
guys
was
later.
Lance Christensen Jr. Y'all are going to be seeing a lot more from him. Lance, thanks for joining us tonight, brother. Go get your workout in.
Remember to stay driven.
You got it, brother. Thank you. Man, what a dude. What a dude, man. What he's been through in his life to battle off of the reservation here in South Dakota, which is about as bad as it gets, and to be where he is now, and then going through the injury, right, to kind of climb it, play Division I, have her this injury. I mean, it cost him his scholarships, it cost him everything, and obviously everybody's going to get to hear a lot more about that. But he's on the comeback. And that's where we're kind of catching him, right? And not so different from your story, Coach. And we had a question here rather from Coach Vincent, who I know is obviously a big fan of yours, like we all are, Cody. He says, Cody, what's the mindset of your team knowing that the season starts next month? We had the big tryout. You're getting the defense set up there in Minnesota. The offense is out in Wyoming getting ready. It's coming quick.
Yeah, no, it is coming quick. And I told all my players before Christmas, I was like, hey, these are the dates for camp, for the game and everything. Get yourself ready now, get locked in and stay locked in, because after Christmas, New Year's, time's just going to fly. And I mean, our game's in less than a month, our first one. And we got camp. We're going to be leaving for Wyoming later this month. And, we come back, maybe have a practice or two, and then it's game time. Everybody's ready to go. Everybody's ready to get to camp, compete, and get that spot. A lot of these players on the defense, I'm familiar with, but they all know from years past, ain't shit free and nothing's given. So they already know they got to go out and show out. And for the offensive players that are going to be staying here with me, I mean, they got to learn 2 different playbooks, the scout playbook and ours. So we're getting locked in mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. We're getting there.
B, I know you've spent a lot of time with Cody, obviously his journey with the Bears and everything. Any questions off the top of your head about the season to come? I'm sure you know some of the players that are playing out there. Kind of give you the hosting duties for a minute here.
I guess it's just, Cody, for you, I mean, you got the offense working down in Wyoming. You got your defense here. I mean, how hard is that to kind of get chemistry between the team and the locker room? I mean, that's going to be kind of a challenge, don't you think?
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit of a challenge just because of the chemistry part. But, this next weekend, like I said, heading out there for camp, this is going to be not only tryouts, training camp, but a time for us to mesh, get to know each other, try to get familiar, because, it's going to be a brotherhood. It was kind of a weird situation, me just having the defense here in Minnesota and then traveling out there. But I mean, when I thought about it, it makes sense. I can have a scout offense. They don't need to be out in Wyoming with the regular offense, and unless they get called up, they can just help me out. And then, we'll just take our dogs and head on wherever we got to go. So, I mean, I'm blessed. I'm excited for the season, and we're ready to go. Honestly, we've been ready to go.
No,
And
that's
it's
good.
it's a pretty unique situation, I would say. You guys got the text change set up. You got the Facebook groups or something that everybody can get in and kind of bust each other's balls like the locker room to stay tight. Do you got something like that?
We do have a few different chats, a couple different apps that we use, but it's all been love. It hasn't really been any chirping or nothing. Everybody tends to save that until the field. You don't want to chirp with someone that, just ain't like that. Then you're wasting your time. But, everybody's just introducing themselves, planning, how we want to do our team bonding time and stuff like that. So it's everybody's excited. Everybody's been excited. I get calls all the time like, hey, when are we leaving? Are you sure we're leaving this time? Yeah, we're leaving this time. I'm setting up the rentals and everything for travel. So it's an exciting time. I love it.
Well, we're excited. I know I speak for B and myself to cover another team that Cody coached now. We can't wait till it's the Golden Gophers next season, and to have some more football to talk about, include another team on our wall. I mean, I'll buy all the pendants and the T-shirts and the jerseys and whatever we got to do to keep supporting you on your journey and being a part of it. Looking forward to having a coach's show with you, maybe even breaking down some tape a week-to-week basis and bringing some stuff in. I think that would be pretty fun as well.
Yeah, no, I mean, soon it'll be the Gophers. Hopefully I can jump past the college and just head into NFL, but I'm willing to do whatever I got to do.
Professionals, right? I mean, you're working with professionals now, so it would be a step back to go to working with amateurs again, right?
Yeah. I mean, I'll still do it. I love being around the sport. I don't care if it's youth. I'll help out. I mean, I've been a board member for the Rochester Youth Football Association, helping out with reffing and just anything that they need, really. Just love to see and help the youth develop, watch them grow. There's been a few youth that I have helped, and just the growth over the years. They're like, all right, yeah, that makes me feel good. Like just validation. So I mean, I did put in an application for the Gophers. So if anything, I might not get it, but at least I'm on their radar now.
Yeah, you gotta shoot your shot, and just like you said, you gotta put it, you gotta put your name in the hat, or you're never gonna get picked, right?
Yeah.
So there's definitely something to that. Speaking of youth organizations and football, shout out our guy JJ Kern. It's his birthday today, so happy birthday, JJ! Appreciate what you doing for me to invite me out to the MPFL Youth League and to see what you're building out there. We're going to be seeing his boy be getting out there and crushing some skulls in Minnesota high school football here next season, I'm sure, even though I know, he's just a young man still, but he'd probably kick my ass. Being perfectly.
Yeah. So Cody, can you give us a little insight of what Denver's locker room's like, losing their quarterback, going with a backup? I know you had that experience a little bit when you played that one game against Omaha. You lost your quarterback. So what's their preparation going for backup quarterback in the biggest game of the year for them?
Well, I mean, at this point, there's no other option than, hey, this is what it is. Take the good from it and leave the rest to God. Because, I mean, there's not much you can do. You got to get behind this guy, the backup, as soon as you can, and install, as much confidence in him as you can, and just get him mentally there. Because, I mean, I don't think he even planned to suit up, and you got to be ready. When your name's called, you got to be ready. So they need to make sure that, even if it's a bad throw in practice, you're picking them up, you're getting them in that state of mind, that mindset of like, hey, I might make a mistake. Don't keep your head down. These guys got my back. He needs to understand that they have his back.
Well, and on the other side of the ball, how do you even plan for it? There's no tape on this guy. You haven't seen anything like that. And a guy like Sean Payton, right, coach of the Broncos, say what you want about the man, but obviously one of the most gifted offensive minds in the league, that he's got some plan, right? He's got to have something, and you have to now you have to go off of that element of surprise, right? Like, the Patriots have no idea what you're going to come out and do. So as a defensive coach, now on the other side of the ball, how do you prepare your team when you have no tape in a game that relies on tendency and kind of knowing the other players inside and out? Shout out Prince Walker, man. Thanks for the song, brother. It was ripping off the top of the show.
Prince, that is a nice song there.
It might be the outro too, to be perfectly honest.
It deserves to be, honestly. If I'm the Patriots defensive coordinator, I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. He's a backup quarter. He's a backup quarterback for a reason. You're not gonna have tape on him, but I would run my defense. Maybe a couple adjustments just to put more pressure on him. And make him think more and be on his feet. But I mean, until I see something different, I'm good.
Yeah.
Well, and they played really well against CJ Stroud and the Texans last weekend. So you gotta, it's hard not to think about them, and especially those pass rushers just licking their chops now to go after a guy that hasn't played all season. And like you said, back up for a reason. It just a wild scene. That was, I mean, I don't know if that was the most surprising thing from the weekend. Let's do that. We had a biggest surprise or favorite moment. I'll give you a choice, either one. You can do it. B, let's go with you. What was your biggest surprise from the weekend, or just your favorite moment?
Since Minnesota has a young quarterback, it was nice to see that. I mean, yes, Caleb threw 3 interceptions, but it was nice to see a mobile quarterback not panic under the pressure, kept his team in the game, maybe got lucky at the, with that Hail Mary pass, but it was just nice to see that, if you give the guy time, he's going to develop. He's good. I mean, yes, they're going to make mistakes, but I think, just overall, see the growth of Caleb Williams from last year to this year should give us in Minnesota here a little hope that, this could happen to McCarthy. Just got to give him time, got to give him that team. But no, I mean, that was a good game, outside of the championship game last night.
I watched a lot of Caleb Williams' first year, right? I saw a lot of those games, and I thought in a lot of ways JJ looked like a much better quarterback, playing quarterback, than Caleb did in his first several games. Now, team's a little bit different, right? Caleb spent most of his first year running for his life because of a really bad offensive line, but our offensive line wasn't great this year either.
Right.
And I preached patience all season long with JJ McCarthy and going, hey man, like he's not playing that awful. And in a lot of ways, in a kid, and I know it's his second year technically, but really his first, year of reps out there on the field, he's looking pretty darn good. And I think there's a bright future here. Let's take take a little back seat now. What I'm really afraid of is that they bring in somebody, KOC goes back, and a lot of what we're already hearing is kind of we're going to do what we came here to do kind of talk. And that worries me that they're going to take the ball out of his hands and to put it in a veteran quarterback's hands instead of just letting him develop and become that star that I think some of us think he can still be.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, there's only a few veteran quarterbacks that they brought in, and we still have JJ here, that I'd be like, okay, JJ, you're going to sit behind him and you're going to play. Or he's going to play, you're going to watch, you're going to learn. And there's only maybe 3-4 quarterbacks that I would do that for. Outside of that, it's JJ's job. Yes, you want a veteran, that can come teach him and show him the way, put him under his wing. But I mean, outside of, getting that top tier guy, it's JJ's team. I'm, kind of getting sick of everybody like, oh, we need to draft the quarterback. We need to move up. We need to do this. We need to do that. No, we got other holes to fill. Let's keep JJ here and let's keep him happy. He's what, 21? I mean, they say the average quarterback, it takes them a good season and a half of games to learn how the speed of the game goes. So I'm with you. Patience. Let's just ride it out.
Yeah, and really the only thing that you're worried about is the injuries, right?
Yeah, the injuries is the big thing. Yeah.
Thoughts, Coach?
Surprising game for this past weekend. I'd have to say the Seattle Seahawks 49ers game. I did not think that was going to be a blowout. I actually picked the 49ers. My mistake. But that was crazy. My favorite moment would have been Caleb Williams passing that dropping back 20 yards, vomited to Cole Kmet. That saved one of my parlays. I'm not even gonna lie. So I'm not even gonna lie. I did Cole Kmet for over 18.5. I did Cody Parkson for like 21.5 receiving yards, and then David Allen, some wide receiver for the Rams. I was like, over under half a catch. I was like, he ain't gonna see the field. So that Cole catch, man, that saved my ass.
I was so happy that it was Cole who caught it too. He was part of the CHGO podcast team last year, and he took one of my questions at one point. I had sent a video into them, and talking, and I was of course asking him, kind of a broadcaster, what's it like to be a budding broadcaster now or something, being on the podcast. But a Chicago guy, to catch that ball in the biggest of moments, to be in that moment, just really cool. A little sad that they couldn't finish it out. I thought they had a chance. I mean, they left points on the board. They could have kicked a couple of field goals down there, and that touchdown could have been to go up 4 points at the end. Right. Well, so, and I don't, I'm sure Ben Johnson is going to be second guessing some of those decisions throughout the off season, as he should. Right. I think that's what good coaches do, is to, think about how we could have done things differently, to not always think that you are the smartest guy in the room. But what a crazy moment. I don't think I've ever seen someone just sprint backwards to buy themselves time like that, and then to load up and to throw it like he does a lot off that back foot. I mean, dude's got a cannon for an arm. It's just unreal.
Yeah, I was surprised he did that. I was more surprised, how open Cole Kmet was, in that back corner of the end zone or backside. But
well, you can't even see the quarterback as the defensive back in that. You're like, I can't even see this man. You don't know that the ball's coming until it's like almost to you, right? And then you're like, oh.
Yeah, well, and
Me, right?
you're watching all the defensive linemen and maybe a linebacker just run forward, and you're thinking, as a DB, you might be thinking it's a fumble already or something.
Right, it's over,
so,
right? Like we already stopped him.
Yeah, you stop, and then boom, he's behind you.
Well, and I think too in that game, the turning point was that BS of a personal foul call on the Bears when the Bills line guy jogged into him and he, of course, bumped into him and he fell over and they called him on a personal foul on the Bears guy. It's like he didn't even see him coming. I mean, that was just a big BS call. I think it was like late third quarter or early fourth, and it was just. I think the turning point of the game is that it would just shock the Bears.
Yeah, no. Most shocking, game though for the weekend, I'd say it was the championship game last night. Shout out to Indiana. They did work. They did work.
Yeah, what a turnaround for that Hoosiers team. That
Mendoza could take some hits, man.
Yeah,
man, he looked like he was in a street fight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel sorry because he's going to the. I feel sorry for him because he's going to most likely to the Raiders. I just hope they got the protection.
That team.
Well, that's true too. I mean,
they're going to get him in plenty of street fights, even though they don't play in Oakland anymore. I mean,
yeah, right, but I know we're going to talk a lot about draft down the road, but if I'm Oakland, I'm looking at all avenues. And Mendoza, props to him. I mean, the first hit he took to that last touchdown drive where he got, collided at the 3, I think, spun around and tries to reaches for the goal line and gets hit again on the side. I don't know how that guy got up after those 2 hits.
I would still be laying out there on the field today.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. Yeah, you're probably covering me in all the snow that we're getting, just so I can, heal up. But, yeah.
Little bit of coaching talk. I guess my moment is I'm most surprised by the Sean McDermott. I did not expect to hear that. It just goes to show you that nobody's safe in this league. It doesn't matter what you've done. That to me, that's just wild. I understand that they haven't got there yet, but I don't see how firing your head coach gives you any confidence that you're going to get even back to that level next year, right? Like, to me, that's wild. Organizationally, it just seems, I don't want to call it malfeasance. Maybe misguided is a better term, but that's crazy to me, right? Like we're fighting to even win a playoff game, right? And it leads you to kind of look at the Vikings team and you're like, should we fire a KOC? Like, should we just make a move? There's a lot of these good coaches that are out there. Like, should we have made the move this year? Maybe we could have got a Harbaugh. Maybe we could have got a Tomlin or something out there, because you don't know if you have a terrible season next year and you let KOC go. Maybe the coaching, the coaches available this year is crazy to me. Like, that's my most shocking thing. Look at the head coaches that are available in this, rotation. And that's been a massive surprise, maybe over the course of the whole, from the season ending, the Harbaugh letting go and separating, the Tomlin walking away from the Steelers. It's been a lot, and you're about to see this league really get shaken up.
Well, I think too that I heard within the last 10 years, I think there's been like 100 coaching changes or something like that. I know it was a short amount of time with the big coaching change, and I know I saw a graphic the other day that there was 10 coaching jobs when the Vikings hired KOC, and there's only 2 left from that hiring class. KOC's one, and I think the Arizona coach was the other one. So
Yeah, he's on the chopping block
Yeah,
next
yeah.
season too.
Well, and that's the thing too is, I mean, if your coach is on the chopping block this year and you see McDermott get let go and you see Tomlin get let go, it's just like, okay, maybe we just let our guy go. Let's go talk to Tomlin. Let's go talk to McDermott if they could want to come in. I mean,
well, and they kind of alluded to that on Purple Daily a little bit, is like, are there those discussions happening at the top level of of the Vikings organization? Are the Wilfs kind of talking amongst themselves, right? I mean, you're not letting that leak out. God, that would be a PR nightmare.
Yeah.
But are you having those conversations where you're like, look, well, I mean, do we want to make some back channel talks happen and to at least inquire, because you're not going to want to make that move without knowing that you got a really good chance at getting your guy.
But then
right?
that's tampering and stuff like that. But I don't think there's talk. I mean, he had one bad year due to a lot of injuries. I mean, the quarterback play wasn't that great. I mean, of course, it doesn't look good that at the beginning of the year, both of your quarterbacks are leading 2 new teams to high standards. Now you got one quarterback a game away from the Super Bowl. So yeah, that part doesn't look good, but I'm satisfied with where the Vikings are sitting at right now.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I think the Wilfs are behind doors, going through options, seeing what they could do if they needed to. But I think we're good with KOC. I think Flores is going to come back and stick with us. I think we're going to be all right.
Yeah,
I'm not surprised that LaFleur got that contract extension. You make the trade midseason for Parsons. Had it not been for that injury and that injury to Love, you're going a lot further. So he bought himself some time with that.
Yeah, I definitely think if Micah Parsons in that Bears game, that Packers team doesn't lose that game. He just changes that defense. But now you got a defensive coordinator change. Who lands in that spot now can change the face of the NFC North. And if you get one of these guys that are, man, I would hate to see this. I don't know if McDermott takes a DC job again and steps back into that role, but McDermott becomes the DC and fucking Green Bay. That does not bode well for anyone, especially with a talent like Micah Parsons there. I hope I didn't just bring that into fruition. I'm sorry. If that ends up happening, I am so sorry to all of us, right? For that.
One more thing with that, with the Bills firing their head coach, at some point it's got to be there's got to be a change that needs to be made, either the head coach or the quarterback. And the Bills aren't going to get rid of Josh Allen. You know what I'm saying? Like, something had to change. I think as soon as they knew Ravens weren't going to be in the playoffs, Chiefs weren't going to be in the playoffs, this was already a set decision.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, does that come back to bite them next year? Right? Does going through a head coaching search and change? And how much did the availability of a Tomlin and a Harbaugh and, even a Mike McCarthy, right? Which I know Mike McCarthy pretty much has said for him, it's kind of Steelers or bust, but, just the availability of these coaches, what part of that goes into the decision as well, that we have someone to go get, we have a chance to go get a proven commodity, right? You're not taking a chance on somebody else's OC or DC and elevating someone, a first-time head coach. You got guys with real experience in this league, the real playoff experience as well to add in there. I wonder how much of that goes into that decision on there, or if there were already talks, at that point, and maybe they got their eye on somebody. I know a lot of that's going to come out probably over the next 7 days, and you'll see who lands in the job. Will kind of speak to that as well. Any things that we didn't cover? I got a couple products that have been sent to me that I want to introduce you guys to, but I wanted to save them for the end of the show, so it's easy for me to clip out and send to them.
Oh, I think we pretty much covered everything. I mean, everything from the playoffs to, a little bit of golf, the national championship game for college yesterday. Shout out Kurt Signetti going from taking a 3-9 team in 2 years and just completely turning it around.
Did you say it's the first undefeated season all the way through the national championship like that?
Mm-hmm.
It's been a while, I think.
It's been a while. And for Indiana to do it.
A non-football school to build that program into a historic winner is freaking wild. That's crazy.
And I love that mindset. I kind of have that same one of like, hey, I'll take this team that, is, low prestige, low wins, and let's see what we can do. Let's make magic. Why not Indiana? He said it. Why not?
Well, and the thing is if you're going to make another sports movie about a team that comes together, I mean, Indiana is definitely one of them. I mean, remember the Titans. I mean, they brought two schools together to, I just think it is like Coach said. I think it's all on chemistry, everybody buying in with what they're selling. Everybody's counting us out. We can't win. I mean, that's all I heard. Indiana didn't belong there. They got lucky against Ohio State. Wait until they made Ohio State again in the playoffs. They're going to get ran over. Well, Ohio State didn't get there. Oh, Miami's going to take care of them. Miami could do it. I mean, it turned out to be a good game, but, props to Indiana, like, Bubba said. A non-football school in the Big Ten, just made themselves a football school. So, I mean, props to them.
Pretty incredible stuff. Man, we're getting really good at this. I thought this was a great show. Shout out to us. It's our team. It's about going to war with the guy next to you, right? It's about going to battle for your guys, and that's what builds great culture and builds great teams. And really happy to have introduced Lance to you guys tonight, because he's going to be a big part of this team moving through the summer and some of the extra content that we'll be shooting around the golf course. And yeah, we're on the golf tip side, we got some big plans for a show. Just that we've been talking to some sponsors and some different things to bring in their tech so that I can hit balls at home. I can send the data over to Lance, and he can tell me what I need to do to shave a few strokes off the game this year. So looking forward to that and helping everybody, right? So I got a couple new products that I want to talk to. B, you're a big food guy, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, even Cody's a big food guy, even though he looks like he's like it. Yeah.
Well, that's because he goes 100 miles an hour, 37 hours a day. And
honestly, I'm eating like 7 to 10 times a day.
So I had a Cajun seasoning company reach out to me. Shout out to Lucky Cajun. He sent me a whole big bag of them here, man. All different types for all of us. So this is the tailgate seasoning packages, right? So I'll be bringing all these when we get ready to get cooking for tailgate season and barbecue season in the summer. I want to give a little bit of I love it when people send me a little bit of ad reads. It says, crack one open, you'll smell the difference immediately. We grind fresh in small batches and it shows. Fresh ground just tastes better on the grill. You're darn right, man. Appreciate the Blackwell family for crunching these up. I put some on my steak and eggs. I think I used this one on my steak and eggs. This is the Black Label, kind of good on everything, your burgers, your anything. This is I think you say that Bulgasari, maybe, I don't know. They're Cajun, man. I'm not that big, but this is a Korean chili sauce.
Ooh, I need that.
Ooh, yeah, you sure do.
I need that.
A little Asian persuasion for your barbecue. Love it. Can't wait to cook with these things. Shout out to Blackwell and Lucky Cajun for sending us some of these things. We can't wait to get more grilling. Unfortunately for us in the upper Midwest, it's been cold as the last bit here, so we haven't been able to get out to the grill. I have a charcoal grill. You got propane or charcoal?
Charcoal.
I got propane. I've never been able to get a charcoal grill lit. But I do think there's better food on a charcoal grill, open flame, definitely. But yeah, I like the grill, but I'm not the grill master. So,
I'll show you a thing or two.
It's coming.
There you go. Yeah. Well, I can't wait for the tailgate scene for us. I know that we'll be more than welcome at the Vikings World Order tailgates. Of course, we always got to shout out our Pillars of Valor. Shout out to them. I'm gonna huck one of these on a sled dog and send it up your way, Cody, and hopefully it gets there. Winter finally got here. I feel like it got here, and it is a cold, bitter bee. That's why I need my Mosey, y'all. These things are really sweet. So really, really proud of this company because they took what we do. I know you've been at some cold football games, wrapping your jacket around your legs, bringing the extra blankets out. This is actually an insulated, like almost a skirt, right? So it wraps around, and then this is why my wife stole it, right? So it actually wraps around and covers you up. It Velcros on so that you can actually walk around in it too. It's got pockets on it. This thing's badass. This is the first time I actually got to put it on. I know you can't see me here. I'll put the camera down a little bit. But yeah, so it actually is just like a Velcro skirt blanket, right? This thing's freaking sweet. My wife stole it immediately. I went out. It was so cold in there. You got pockets, got a carabiner for your thing. It's all thermal insulated. I can't wait to use this next winter or at the next basketball game this weekend, which is ridiculous. Oh, and I'm going to stuff one of these inside of it too. Shout out to Pure Fire hooking it up. These are like giant size hand warmers. Yeah, nice. Badass, man. Last 12 hours. So Cody, next time you're going to the game and you're not bringing any gloves, we're just going to send you.
Yeah.
First of all, we're going to get you some damn mittens. It's crazy that you roll out there without them, but I like all these people that reached out like, hey, can we send you some stuff to keep you warm? Yes, you can.
Yes.
Please and thank you.
Well, send those links this way, and I'll reach out to them too because we could definitely use them.
Brother, I am telling you, B, get on Quoted. I had a meeting with one of the gals from the company today, and I was like, I literally sing your praises all the time. Sign up for a free account. As a creator, you have a platform. These people would be more than willing to send you some stuff. If you need to work on your pitches a little bit, the company's more than welcome, or you're more than happy to help you write those out so that people will respond to those and reach out to you. Yeah, man, I've had a ton of really cool stuff sent to me that, is useful in our daily lives. I got the golf shirt from that same company. Now I haven't had a chance to put this one on yet, but hopefully that helps me with my swing a little bit. It's been a game changer, man. I got the seasoning, I got the hand warmers, I literally got my tailgate taken care of next year, all by brands that believe in what we're doing here at the Scene Project Sports Network. And we're just so grateful. So shout out to Mosey. Go get you some of that. The great stuff. We got the Lucky Cajun seasoning. Make sure you're checking them out. These people are going to be features on the show over the course of the next few months as well, and shouting out more of them as I get to go out and use them in the real world a bit more. We'll be doing that Pure Fire as well, because winter ain't over, fellas. It's really just getting started. So it's going to be cold until probably April here in South Dakota. I don't know what Minnesota springs are like, if you guys get kind of bipolar there.
Oh yeah,
it's hit or miss. I mean, our spring, it just sucks because sometimes winter rolls into the first couple of weeks of baseball season. Of course, the Twins open up, sometimes up here. So it's hard to go to a game when there's snow falling and the guys are out there wearing hoodies and, everything, mittens on one hand. It's tough to sit out there, but.
Well, B, we're going to send you out with some Pure Fire hand warmers. We're going to get you
you need that for the wife when we go out.
XL Mosey. We're going to stuff the hand warmers inside of the thermal insulation, and you're not going to miss a single Twins game this year because of cold weather, brother.
Well, I might want to miss some Twins games this year.
Man, if I had that, I wouldn't have had to buy like 15 to 20 hot chocolates just to stay warm, just to hold them.
I'm fighting a mitten company that's going to sponsor Cody. Guys, I absolutely love doing this show with you. I appreciate you letting me bring Lance on today. Having him in the crew, I think is going to really elevate some level of our content. And when he told me he was a big Pats fan, I was like, well, if they win, man, you got to come on with us on Vikings United on Tuesday. Talk about your team, talk a little football with us, but share your story and to get comfortable doing that in this world for these young athletes. That's something that we're trying to do. So if you have other young athletes that are out there that are looking to, get a little bit of media training, get used to being on these podcasts and doing that, we're more than happy to have them on, especially as we kind of move into our off season a little bit with Vikings United. Obviously, we're going to have plenty to talk about with the Cavalry. I don't know if we start a new show or we just talk about it on Tuesday nights. We'll probably stick to the Tuesdays for now because the last thing I need is another damn show. But I'm sure having a blast doing it. Any parting shots on the way out the door here, fellas?
Man, it's always a blast to get with you guys and talk football. Let's have another great week, and hopefully Sam Darnold can go ahead and beat the Rams this time and shove it in our face.
All right. So let's do picks for the championship game then. Who you got?
Broncos and no. Patriots and the I just said them. Seahawks, yeah. Rams too. No, Rams are gonna lose that one. Let's not be.
I think that NFC game is going to be the game of the week, and I got Seattle. They're home. That 12th man is terrible from all reports. I mean, unless the Rams can shut them out early, but I don't think so. I think they're going to be hyped up from the get-go, from their tailgates to heck, they're probably out there tailgating right now. On the AFC side, I think Broncos are going to pull it out. I think it's going to be a close one. Honestly, I don't care from the AFC side. I like the young teams over there, definitely. The young quarterbacks and stuff. I wish Knicks was in there. But I just think the lack of film and lack of, stuff, I think it's going to be a close one in there. So I'm taking the Broncos and Seattle for
now, where is that game being played at? Is it in Denver or is it in
Denver? Nope, it's in Denver.
It's in Denver. Mile High.
He's calling the miracle at Mile High right now on Tuesday, pulling out what I imagine. Do they have lines out on these games yet?
Oh, yeah.
It's got to be 10.
No. Let me look. I haven't looked at the lines yet.
It's got to be a touchdown, man. There's no way it's
5.5.
5.5. Okay,
yep.
So almost.
Patriots are favored by 5.5. Seattle's favored by 2.5.
Yeah, I think Seattle. My pick, Seattle and the Patriots. I think defense wins championships. That's a saying for a reason, and these are the two best defenses. I think I texted you after watching the Patriots opening game, like that team's gonna win. That team's gonna win ball games, and that's gonna be your AFC representative. And the shit kicking that Seattle gave to the Niners. I think they're riding that wave right now at home. It's gonna be really tough to overcome that. I think if that Patriots game is in New England, it probably is double digit. And the only reason that it's 5.5 is because it's in Mile High.
Yeah. And if you look at it, typically the home team gets 3 points right out the bat. So you factor in that 3 points. Okay, so it is an 8-point spread pretty much. I just wish Knicks was healthy. Denver does have a good defense, so let's not count out their defense. It's going to be a defensive battle.
I hate it, man, and to injure it in overtime like that, to get all the way there.
Depends on what report you're hearing, because now I'm hearing that he injured it a couple plays prior to that kneel down. You heard it on the kneel down. I mean, you just never know when he heard it. I mean,
You talking about Bo Nix?
yeah, I heard it was the kneel down, but then there's some people that think that he heard it a couple plays prior to the kneel down. So,
Yeah, I tried to relook at that play, the one like 2 plays before the end or whatever.
Yeah.
It kind of looked like that's when it happened. Like his ankle just hit real quick in a weird position, but I don't know.
Yeah.
That's just it's a sad thing to see regardless, especially
Yeah.
this close.
Yeah, it just sucks, man. I mean, you're 2 plays away from the AFC Championship game, and to suffer an injury like that, that's going to change the game just for everybody. I mean, as a football fan, like I don't have a dog in the fight, and I'm just like that just sucks.
Well, I guarantee we talk about betting and Cody and stuff. I mean, Bo Nix is in it. We're probably betting a little bit more on the Broncos, but now that he's out, now we're going to throw that money towards the Patriots way a little bit, and you're going to have somebody like me that's like, you know what, I'm going to throw it on Denver, and stuff like that. So
yeah, I will say, don't discredit and discount Sean Payton from having some tricks up his sleeve, because I think you have to. You got to bust out the trick plays. You're going to have to do something to set apart, because they get some other injuries. I think they lost one of their receivers during that game early on too. Their number 1 receiver was the kid Bryant or Brian that they lost. I thought he went out early in that game as well, and they had another one.
Broncos?
So, yeah.
Let's see here.
But I mean, if they have a game like Seattle, Seattle won it the way I thought they were going to. Keep if you can receive the ball to start the game, take that B all the way for a house call, and then your defense comes out and stops them again. I mean, you're almost halfway through the first quarter, and Sam Darnold hasn't even touched the field.
Yeah. So yeah, you got Bryant is questionable. Franklin, their other receivers questionable. Their center's questionable. So yeah, it's
you got some issues.
I think it's gonna be a defensive battle. I think I think we're gonna have a defensive battle on that one.
Yeah, well, and who knows what the weather's going to be like in Denver, right? It could be sunny and 75, maybe not 75, but sunny and 30 like it was last weekend. Or it could be, a foot of snow. Like, you never know if it's going to be a freak storm this weekend that comes off the mountains. And
Elway's going to be in that locker room talking, hyping the team up on his playoff experience. I mean, they're probably calling out every Denver Bronco that won a Super Bowl to come in and talk to this team this whole week. So
yeah, where's TD? Shannon Sharp. Where's Terrell Davis? I remember watching those games, man. We had just moved out to South Dakota. So obviously a lot of Broncos fans out in western South Dakota. The eastern side of the state is pretty much all Minnesota fans. But yeah, man. Well, looking forward to some ball this weekend again. I don't know. What are you guys doing for Super Bowl Sunday? Any big plans?
I'll be working in the morning, but definitely I'll be home in time to watch the game. May go up to a buddy's house if he's having a Super Bowl party, catch it. But, definitely got to watch it. Definitely got to watch for the commercials. And hopefully for a good game.
At the very least, we are going to do a Super Bowl commercial rating show. So keep track of them. I want to, I don't know if we're going to rate every single one of them in a ranking, right? But I want to do like top 5, your top 5 commercials from the game. We're going to talk about it on a post show.
Well, I know for sure I'll be taking a nap at halftime over watching Bad Bunny sing.
I couldn't tell you one Bad Bunny song.
I don't know what my plans are for sure for the game. I actually got a text message from a buddy. He texted me. He's like, "Hey, I got a spare ticket to the Super Bowl. Do you want to go?" So I'm trying to figure that out. I got a lot of stuff to switch around. Oh yeah. Wow. I saw it. Now I almost dropped my phone. Bro. I'm trying. I'm trying. If I can make it,
you can find another 12 jobs when you come back.
I probably could. Yeah.
Yeah. There's definitely going to be an employment gap when you get back with all the plenty of Uber driving gigs out there, I'm sure. And
right.
Oh man, what a
We'll
mess.
figure it out, though. We'll see.
Man, I feel my heart goes out to you guys and everyone kind of living through this. I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. It ain't easy for anybody to live up there right now. But yeah, everybody be safe. We love y'all. This has been another great episode of Vikings United. I've had a blast doing this show, getting to talk ball with y'all and to talk life. And really, that's the beauty of football, is that it has so many parallels with life, and it is the greatest game for a reason. So with that, fellas, I'm going to let you go. We will reconnect next Tuesday, talk about these championship games. Maybe we'll start to divulge into some of the draft talk now that the college football season is over, Cody. So if you got a little bit of time to do some homework, maybe dig up just a few of let's talk some DB, since that's your realm. Let's talk some DB prospects next week, because B sent me a mock draft that he did today, and in that, the Vikings selected a cornerback.
Yeah, I found it sent it to Cody too, because the one name I looked at and I saw Love drop way past the Vikings at running back. I'm just like, man, if that happens, I hope the Vikings take him.
100%. 100%.
Well, you need help at running back, and a bell cow running back for this team. Maybe that's enough to get KOC to run the damn ball, but I'm not holding my breath for that one.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, this is Bubba Starts here, Big B from the Coast to Coast Entertainment Network. Go check out all his stuff. You got the show tomorrow night, B?
Yeah, we got Primetime Blitz tomorrow, and then Thursday morning, me and Tim will be on early to do some rankings of certain birthdays in January. So
awesome. All right, Cody already dipped out on us, and
he must have got a work call.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's snowing up there. He's probably working all night too, man.
Yeah, probably.
Well, for everybody here and for Coach Cody, who's always working 13 jobs, this has been Vikings United. We love you all. We'll see you next Tuesday.
Have a good one.
SPSN.